When I met my husband, Derek, things went pretty quickly. We got married within a year of meeting each other. When we found out we were pregnant, we were really excited for just what the Lord had in store for us. So when we ran across the name Jace, meaning the Lord is my salvation and also meaning a healer, we thought that was the perfect name for our son. So that was one thing we had before he was born. Other words that were spoken over him were that he would be a warrior for the Lord's kingdom, that he was whole, healthy, complete, that he is fearfully and wonderfully made. 37 weeks pregnant, we went to just routine doctor's appointment. And from that, they told us to go ahead and go get checked into the hospital, that Jace was on his way. So we went ahead and got checked in. Everything went smoothly. But when Jace was born, we got to spend a little bit of time with him, but he wasn't breathing well, and they said they had to take him to the NICU. I remember praying just for him that Jesus is his salvation and Jesus is his healer, and that by his wounds we are healed. And I had a peace that the Lord was just going to take care of Jace and everything was going to be just fine. The next morning, we woke up to them telling us that they're going to have to transfer Jace to the children's hospital. Just because he wasn't breathing well, they suspected cardiac issues as well as Down syndrome. And so Derek and I were pretty shocked and in just like a state of disbelief. That morning, Mom or Sherry was flying in. So I just remember being in the hospital room, sitting on the bed, just trying to process what had all just happened. I remember she walked in the room and I remember just bursting out into tears when I saw her, and she gave me a big hug, and I just remember saying all the things the Lord had spoken over him, I just don't understand. And so before I could get the word why out, that was going on in my head, like why is this happening? But I hadn't said it out loud yet. But before I could get that out, she said, "Why not you?" And it really sunk in deep that really, why not us? We both had come from very loving families. I'm an OT. I went into OT because I love children and wanted to make a difference in their lives. It was a challenge though, because we had people speaking all kinds of things over him. All the things that he wouldn't do. Everything they said he couldn't do, we just took to the Lord. And so we've continued to proclaim those things over him. And just the Lord has come through and shown up in many ways where just straight up miracles. But at the time we left the NICU, they had said Jace would probably not breastfeed, that it would be hard for him to do, and that he'd probably take twice as long to meet all developmental milestones and do all the things that he needed to do. But by the time we left the NICU, he was breastfeeding. They were going to make him a case study for future kids in the NICU about intake. One of his first doctor's appointments, and Jace had just started rolling over at 6 weeks old. And that's usually, further a couple months down the road that they do that. And so the doctor didn't really believe me when I said, he just started rolling over. And so she put him down on the table and he just flipped right over for her. And she didn't have words to say, but it was another great opportunity just to give praise to Jesus, our healer. Soon after we got home from the NICU, the Lord opened a ton of doors where we ended up back in Abilene, where the Lord provided a job for Derek. He sold our house in record time, 11 hours, and just flew off the market pretty much. The Lord would just unlock a door, open it up, we'd walk through, and he just continued to drop blessing after blessing upon us as we just surrendered to his plan and were obedient to where he was leading us. As we just continue to ask the Lord, he is just doing more and more than we could have ever imagined. Plans might not always look like we think they will, but just allow the Lord to work, surrender to him, and just step out in faith, knowing that whatever door he is unlocking for you, he's good. He will come through as your provider, as your healer, as your defender, that he is a good God and that he has great things in store.